What will the Middle East look like in the coming year? Are we seeing a generational shift? And the reason why I'm asking this question is because of Syria and watching the fall of the Assad regime, which happened so quickly and so suddenly to many of us on the outside. It really reminded us how quickly things can change. One of the things that's been missing from this story, though, is a more global look at what the fall of the Assad regime means for not only the region, but the different relationships that a variety of different countries have had in the Middle East based on the way things were that now they're not. Let me explain. Syria, and specifically the Assad regime, was a very key ally to Iran and a very key ally to Russia. Syria is one of the few countries on the State Department's list as a designated state sponsor of terrorism, meaning that Syria, the regime in Syria, has supported terrorist groups all around the world. There are only 4 countries on that list, Iran being one of them, North Korea being another, and Cuba being another. And a lot of this has to do with the location of Syria. Syria has ports that go out into the Mediterranean Sea. It neighbors Turkey to the north, and it provided a land bridge for Iran to move weapons and resources to a very powerful militarized terrorist group called Hezbollah in Lebanon. Syria also provided, under the Assad regime, a port for Russia and an airbase for Russia. So where Russia didn't have this huge reach into the Middle East, with friends like Syria and Iran, suddenly Russia has a different posture and becomes a different player in the Middle East. With the Assad regime gone, those relationships have broken up. If you look at it within the broader context of the year as well, you see that Israel has greatly weakened Hezbollah in Lebanon. And that matters because Hezbollah was a highly militarized, highly equipped fighting force that has changed and has been weakened because of the war with Israel. Hamas has also been weakened. A lot of that leadership of Hamas has been taken out. The war still goes on with Hamas in Gaza at this point, at the time of this recording. But some of these relationships have significantly changed. We have to be really careful about Syria, though, because there's a big question about who comes next to lead the country. The Assad regime provided that safe haven for Iran and for Russia. And there seems to be some optimism around the next leadership in Syria. But we have to be very, very cautious here. We have no idea who's going to rise to power. And it's very seldom that we think about that person or that group as worse than what was in place, but that could happen. And so something critical to watch, not only what's going to happen in Syria specifically and what emerges in this aftermath, but also how Iran is changed by the fall of the Assad regime and what does Russia's posture in the Middle East look like.